Going live is becoming more and more of a useful tool, something that I encourage you to start using if you haven't already. But whether you have or you haven't, it doesn't matter, because this video is here to help you engage more effectively with your audience, communicate more effectively, but also be professional and have some fun while you're on your live. Hey everyone, Ray here from Simply Create. If you don't know, Simply Create helps businesses and people with the creativity. So hopefully you're going to find this video helpful. Don't forget to do all the usual stuff. It really is great support when you subscribe, when you comment. I love to engage and find out what you thought about the video. Hopefully you find it helpful. And obviously tabbity tap tap that like button. Okay, let's go. Okay, this one is crucial. As we know, all live streaming platforms, wherever you're going to live stream, allows you to put in a title to engage your audience. And as we know, words are engaging. They do pull your audience in. The trick with a live, obviously you want to get the people tapping in straight away to watch it there and then. There is also a follow-up audience, which is an added bonus that comes and watches your content later. But this title needs to not only be to the point, but also a bit fun and playful and engaging so that people click through. Don't be tempted to clickbait, because if you do, they're going to log on and log off your live stream almost instantly. So be honest and kind of tell them what it's about and attract the people that want to know about that subject, however niche it is, because then when they're on the live, they're more likely to actually engage. That means like send emojis, type questions, and comment back to things that you're saying within your live. So use your titles wisely. This one is a little bit more difficult to master. It might take you some time and some practice, but being aware of your pace of the live. So when you're trying to get people into the live, you want to be clear on your points and make sure that people understand. But also, if things are kind of dropping off and taking their time, you've got to be ready to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, make it engaging and interesting. Doesn't always mean talk fast, something I'm quite good at, but it might mean just having somebody else there to bounce off, because then they have a change of tone, a change of dynamic and pace naturally within different people and how they speak. So if you haven't got a guest, just be aware of it, that your pace needs to kind of be crucial and slow and to the point in some instances, but also pick up the energy in times where you feel it might drift off a little bit. This one links to understanding the pace of your live. Don't be scared to cut it short. Okay, I'm only joking because we're not live. If it's not working, if it's not going how you want, if you feel like it's dragging, it probably is dragging a little bit. If people are not engaging, then maybe it's try again another time. It might be the wrong time. People might just not be ready to sit down and watch and focus on something. You can always go live and come back at it again, even if it's the same subject. But don't be scared to cut it short. This is just an added tip if you're going live on Instagram. So one thing that Instagram has is pin a comment. So this is really important, and something that I do every single time I go live is, if you're the host, you can comment into your own feed of the live. You can press and hold down, it will say pin comment, and you can pin it to the top. Make sure this comment is about the live. So it's summarizing what the live's about, or it's a call to action, something that you want your people that are engaging with your live to do, see, or engage with. This will be important because whenever they join at any point, they'll see this pinned comment and they'll know everything that's going on within the live and feel less like they've missed out on anything and more like they can engage at any time. This one is a good one, not only for lives, but if you're coaching, teaching, doing public speaking or workshops, and that is to engage openly with your audience. Now, what I mean by that is checking in with them. This is me checking in. If you're liking it so far, tappity tap tap the like button. If you've got any questions for me, leave a comment. And if you think this video will be useful in the future or you'd like to see some more, don't forget to subscribe. Checking in. Especially when you start a live, something on like Instagram, for example, can take a while to kind of get going. So you want to check, can they hear you? Can they see you? How they doing? But you also want to make sure any questions that you ask are closed questions to keep that conversation going, or an action. So what I mean by that is you might want to ask something like, do you agree? Where they can just put a simple response like yes or no. You also might want them to do something. So I have done before in my lives, ask them first one to find a particular emoji. So you know people, especially when you're setting up, are kind of doing it and you can get that feedback. Because when they're inputting into your live, you know that they're there and they're engaging and they're kind of keeping up with what you're saying. You don't really want long sentences. One, because by the time they post it, you might have moved on. Also, getting to find that comment and reading it out sometimes is quite difficult, whereas if it's a short sentence, you can kind of pick that out of your comments and relay that back. This one is all about your setup and is really important. So unless you're out at an event and you're doing a live stream showing that event, in all other instances, you should be set up where you know you've got good, strong Wi-Fi, or you can connect as in wired to keep that signal strength as consistent as possible. Now, one thing you're not going to be sure on is everybody else's Wi-Fi. So you need to make sure your Wi-Fi or your connectivity is as good as it can be and as consistent. And that means moving around a lot, as well as this creating distractions and sound changes and all those kind of things, interference, keeping it static, keeping it focused, especially if you're delivering something like tutorial, workshop or webinar. Make sure that you have that still connectivity, because that's down to you. Everybody else you can't control, but make sure you're controlling yours. Also, one little tip that I only really realized whilst I was recording this video, but something I do all the time, is take a drink with you to keep that mouth muscle working. This one is great for lives, but is actually after the live has finished. At the first possible moment you get, do a post about the live. The reason being is lives are either there for like 24 hours or they move on fairly quickly, because they're meant to be kind of about the moment. So they only stick around for a certain amount of time, and then you need to push people to it to go and watch. And it is harder for them to engage, and they often don't comment at a later date because the live's kind of been and gone. They might watch it, but they won't necessarily interact. But if you can do it at the first possible moment, you make sure that you post out some highlights. So maybe it's something funny that happened on the live. Maybe it's a really key, important bit of information or takeaway that was really good value to them. Point them to it at the first possible time that you get to, so that people who missed it are re-attracted to the live that happened only moments ago. I'm hoping that you found this video helpful. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, tappity tap 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 that like button, and leave a comment. Let me know if you've got any hints and tips for me, or ask me any questions. I'd love to engage with you. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.